Welcome back. I'm joined now by the very narrow third-place finisher in South Carolina, Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Chuck, good morning.
Let me start with a clip from your press conference that you held on Wednesday, because I have a question on the other side, but I want to show it because it seemed unlike other events that you had held throughout the campaign. Here it is.
A culture exists within the Cruz camp that would allow people to take advantage of a situation like this in a very dishonest way.
Well, I've said he's been lying because if you say something that isn't true and you say it over and over again and you know that it's not true, there's no other word for it.
You talk about people that lies. This Ted Cruz, this is the biggest liar I've ever seen.
This was going to be my second question, but I'm going to go it there. You heard it there. 3 different candidates have accused you of being a liar. One out of 3 South Carolina voters thought you were running the most untruthful campaign. Has all of this hurt you? Has it stuck?
Oh, listen, Chuck, we saw with both Donald Trump and Marco Rubio that their response, whenever you point to anything in their record, is just to yell liar, 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 and to get very personal and to make direct character attacks. And my approach from the very beginning of this campaign, starting a year ago, is that I will not respond in kind. I do not intend to insult any of the candidates. I will sing their praises. I'll sing Donald's praises and Marco's praises and everybody else's praises. But I'm going to keep the focus on substance and records. And there's a reason why they scream liar, because when you point to their own records, their own voting records, their own words, they don't like their records because their records are inconsistent with what they're running on. You know, Donald Trump threatened to file a defamation suit against me for running a TV ad that consisted almost entirely of his own words on national television. Now, that's really a remarkable theory, that it is defamation to show people what he said on national TV. I think the voters are smarter than that.
But, Senator, I'm going to play that press conference clip for you now, because it to me, contrasts with what you just said. Here it is.
Donald has had a long career of using great wealth and power trying to bully others. Whenever anyone points to their actual record, the response of both Donald Trump and Marco Rubio is to yell the word liar. Whenever anyone does, as this ad does, plays the actual words of Donald Trump on national television, his response is to yell liar. Their strategy is simply to yell liar, liar, liar.
You did an entire press conference. It was some 30 minutes on Wednesday. You weren't talking about the issues that you normally do talk about on the trail. You weren't the happy warrior that you just described yourself as being. It seemed as if you allowed yourself to essentially let Trump and Rubio so get under your skin that you focused on them and you've lost focus on your own message.
Oh, listen, Chuck, I was then and am now very much a happy warrior, very much joyful. That press conference was simply discussing the facts, was laying out the actual facts, not engaging in character attacks myself, just putting out, here are the facts, here are the evidence. I noted, for example, that both of them were relying on fabrications. For example, Donald Trump tweeted out to the world a quote allegedly from Senator Tom Coburn impugning my honesty. Within hours, Tom Coburn came out publicly and said that quote was an utter fabrication. And I said, it's really remarkable to see 2 candidates, Trump and Rubio, making things up and putting things out for which there is no evidence and no basis. But listen, Chuck, the important thing is we had an incredible evening last night. Last night, what we saw happen in South Carolina, particularly when you put Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina together, 2 things have happened. Number one, there is now only one strong conservative in this race who can win, and we see conservatives continuing to unite behind our campaign. But number 2, for anyone who doesn't believe that Donald Trump is the best candidate to go head-to-head with Hillary Clinton in November, and that's about 70% of Republicans nationwide who don't think Donald Trump is the right guy, our campaign is the only campaign that has beaten Donald Trump and that can beat Donald Trump. So what we're seeing is we're seeing Republicans coming to us in incredible numbers, going to tedcruz.org, signing up, volunteering, contributing.
You finished 3rd in a state with the highest evangelical turnout that we've seen yet, and you finished 3rd. That sort of doesn't support what you just said, that conservatives are coming together and rallying to your cause.
So, Chuck, our path to victory from the beginning was always do well in the first 4 states and then have a strong, strong night on Super Tuesday coming up on March 1st. In Iowa, everyone in the press said we couldn't win. We won an overwhelming victory in Iowa. In New Hampshire, everyone in the press said a conservative couldn't do well in a moderate New England state. We won a strong third there. And then in South Carolina, we were effectively tied for second. A week ago, Donald was 20 points ahead. We closed that gap. And what we saw there were a number of very encouraging things. For one thing, we won young people in South Carolina. Our campaign was in first place with young people. By the way, we won young people in Iowa as well, and we were in second place with young people in New Hampshire. One of the things we're seeing is young people who are optimistic, who want a future, who want our constitutional rights, are coming to our campaign. And if you want to beat Donald Trump, you know, one of the clearest indications of who can beat Trump is Donald spends every waking moment attacking me. He doesn't attack any other candidates because his campaign views us as the only real threat to him. And that's why we're seeing so many people come around and say, listen, we want a real conservative. We don't want a Washington deal maker who will support Democrats and cut deals to grow government and give in to the cronyism and corporate welfare.
Very quickly, are you going to beat Donald Trump in Texas on March 1st?
I certainly hope so. We're going to work hard to do so. And I got to tell you, Texas, I love Texas. I can't wait in a couple of days to be home to the great state of Texas. It'll be wonderful to sleep in my own bed.
Must win, I take it, for you?
Look, we hope we do well. I believe we will do well. We've got an amazing team in Texas. I love Texans, and Texas is clearly the crown jewel of Super Tuesday. We believe we're going to do very, very well in Texas, and we're going to do very well across Super Tuesday, and we're headed right now, in just an hour, we're headed to Nevada to go and work to earn votes there.
Well, speaking of the road to Super Tuesday, that's what I'm dealing with next. Anyway, Senator Ted Cruz, thanks for coming on. Stay safe on the trail, sir.
Thanks, Chuck.